Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, welcome, friends. This is another episode of the show. I've been waiting for this one. I have been waiting for over a year to get the man in that amazing looking bow tie. Here's the thing. You ran a school system of 4,500 kids and you walked away to run one with 600. Why would anyone downgrade on purpose, boss?
But I'm gonna say it's 7:04, but it's all good. It's all good because
704.
kids. Kids are good kids, man. But listen, it's really about people. People are people, whether it's 4,500, whether it's 704, whether it's 600. Man, it is about people and especially about kids. And one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to go back to my roots, man. I started off as a third grade teacher. And when you're sitting crisscross applesauce on the carpet, man, with 28 kids in front of you, man, and you see that sense of wonderment, man, and the eyes are wide open, man, there is no greater feeling than that. And coming to a smaller division, I feel like I get to know people as people. When I walk down the hallways, at the high school, to know the kids' names and to dap them up and they're dapping me up. What's up, Doc? Hey, man, what's up, Trayvon? It is just such a rewarding feeling. And to know the teachers, you create this what I call sense of belonging, man, where like people feel good when you're around and you feel good when you're around your people. Because you know them, personally and professionally, grandma, Pookie and them, and all of and just all of the people. And I think it brings the community together.
You are the people leader. And I forgot to do an introduction here. That's Dr. Herb Monroe, superintendent of Surry County Public Schools in Virginia. Most superintendents want the resume to get bigger. I mean, as you track along, you progress in years, you want your resume to get bigger. Now, so was leaving Caroline for Surry a demotion or probably the smartest move you've ever made?
Well, really, it was a promotion. I was the assistant superintendent in Caroline, and both of my parents were educators, man. And my parents said, Herbie, whatever you do, don't go into education, right? And like all great kids, we listen to our parents, right? But man, it was my college wrestling coach that said you got a gift of working with people, and you have a way of helping people to turn to each other and not on each other, which is something that is needed in education. So, it's not about building resumes. To me, it's about making the world a better place, and it's about helping kids and educators to be successful in school and in life. So that's what it was all about for me. And what was crazy was I was a finalist 3 other times to be a superintendent, in other places. And what was crazy was when I landed in Surry, the school board chair at the time shared my story with the community and said, God saved him for us. So,
Oh my goodness.
so I feel like, I'm where I'm
That's a pretty
supposed to
high
be.
mission. Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
That's
wasn't
not
brought here by my resume. I was not brought here by the selection and recruitment process. I was
Mhm.
brought here by the God Almighty.
Right, right, right. So,
Wow.
yeah, Miss Rough and Rester's Soul said that at the school board meeting, the night that I was introduced. So
Oh, that
that
gives
was
me
really a powerful
goosebumps.
statement. Yeah.
I want to. You talked about both parents being educated. Your mom couldn't afford a babysitter, so she brought you to the band room instead, right? How much of the superintendent that you are today was built from that room, if you can remember back then?
Man, I ran the hallways of Matoka High School, Robius Middle School, and with my dad at Ratcliffe Elementary and Laburnum Elementary. I was hip to hip, as you say, with my parents all the time. And I'm 58 years old now, and I got a little energy now. Imagine me as a first or a second grader running through the band room, man. And that's how I learned how to play the drums, man. I was just all over the instruments all the time, and I'm running up and down the hallways, and got a lot, learned a lot, met a lot of very important and inspiring individuals that are still in my life today, man. which is
I
really
can
been a
tell it's
blessing.
in your bones. It's in your, and I wonder at 58 if you can still crisscross applesauce, Bob.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
You
I can.
can?
I got.
You still
I
got
can
that
even
mobile.
stand up without using my hands.
No, wow. Yeah, you still got that. I wouldn't want to get in a tussle with you. I don't think so. You wrap me out like a pretzel.
Well, I was too tall to play basketball, man. Wrestling actually saved my life, man. I wrestled in college for Lock Haven University.
Wow.
Yeah, back then I was 118 pounds, man, but loved it, loved it,
Well,
loved it.
that's the other thing that anytime I find somebody that I call them armpit sniffers, but that's probably not appropriate for the show. But somebody that just has that discipline. I don't. There's no other sport out there where you got to put your body to the absolute ultimate test, and you do it week after week, and you just keep coming back, and that temperament doesn't leave you. It's sitting in that chair right there. So what is that wrestler temperament give you that's an advantage to other leaders out there that would be maybe like, ugh, I need another cup of coffee and it's only, 10
Right.
o'clock in the morning.
Well, one thing we say, man, I'm not going to let anybody outwork me
Mm,
as far as that
Scrappy.
goes. And the other thing is, I would never ask anybody to do something that I haven't done or not willing to do. A lot of times people say, "But Dr. Monroe, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that." I'm like, "Oh, yes, I do." So whether it's opening milk cartons, whether it's sweeping, whether it's mopping, whether it's going out, with the custodians and helping to paint a wall or to, move furniture, man, I'm all in. People say teamwork makes the dream work. You can say it, but you really have to model that, because people have to see it to believe it, I believe. And
Yeah,
I think the
modeling the
best way
way.
to lead it, to lead is by doing. And
Mm.
then, I can tell you firsthand, people really appreciate that.
I think that's it, modeling the way. That inspires the heart. I think of the quote. I wonder if it was MLK who said it. Said if you're sweeping the floor, right? You're going to be the best darn floor sweeper there's ever. Whatever you're called to do, you just
Right.
put all of yourself into it. Which, if you're wearing a T-shirt, it just says, "How can I be useful?"
That's
Everywhere you go, everywhere you go. I want to talk about this composite index of point 0.8 means the state barely helps you, right? And you're talking teacher parity, and I think you're promising something that the budget can't cover. You not only love your students, you love your educators, and you believe in fighting for this. So what's going on in that fight right now?
Well, what's going on in that fight is all about relationships. It's all about three things. I call it awareness, education, and advocacy. What's interesting is I have these committees. Like I meet with our local pastors. I talk to the store owners. I partner and sit down at the table with the college presidents that are locally, and I talk to all of our board of supervisors, and I talk to our county administrator, and just try to explain one where we are, what our vision is, and what it will take, for Surrey to, continue to move onward and upward in excellence. And, we're really trying to create this school division where we become the fishbowl, where even though we're small, we say we're small and mighty, but other people come to us to see how it's done.
Hmm.
We have students right now that have done internships at Harvard Law. We have, students that are in colleges and universities all over the country, as far as Hawaii, for example. And even though we're small, we're a high school where students can receive an associate's degree, at Surrey High School. So we're very unique. I think we're very special, but again, it takes money and resources to continue to make these things happen at a level to where all students have access to that.
I make a living out of pickpocketing the best ideas from the people that I bump into. And you and I were at an event together. I think it was a round table where you said something and it just stuck with me, Herb. It just stuck with me. I call it the three E's or the four E's, depending on where my mind happens to be. But it's the promise that you have built within the learning culture there that says one of three E's, and you can add that fourth one if that's yours as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
bring me back to that spot because I need a refresher. But I think that particular initiative or that principle that probably is more like a promise
Right, right.
needs to be
Well,
heard by the
well,
entire world.
the
Yeah.
promise is simply three E's. And really, that's a Virginia promise right now. That's something that has been embraced by the Commonwealth of Virginia. But it started in some cracks, I think, in Henrico County Public Schools and some other places where we promise our kids that they're going to be 3E ready. That means they're going to be either enrolled in a college or university, they're going to be enlisted, one of the armed service, or they're going to be employed. We're going to create a pathway that leads right to employment for our students, and some of our kids are what I call E cubed, E squared, whatever you want to say it, because they are working. They're going to college. They may be part of a JROTC program. They may be part of one of the armed services already. We're really proud of that. And then the other thing too is entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
And we got kids.
That would be the fourth E, right?
That would be the fourth E.
Where you've got a kid that doesn't fit any of those boxes, and they're three planets away from how most of us kind of think about things, and they're
Right?
in their garages tinkering on stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean they're on these social media platforms. They're got their own landscaping business. Got kids doing their own t-shirt businesses and things of that nature. And what they're finding out is, as they're making money, they're also doing what we may call an earn to learn. So as they're earning, they're also learning, and then other agencies and corporations and companies and CEOs are reaching out to them to say, hey, why don't you
Hmm.
come join our team? And by joining our team, we can maybe put you in business school. So, you can continue what you're doing, but why not have an MBA behind it, or something of that nature? So again, man, the
And they're
opportunity.
footing the bill.
Yeah,
They're footing the bill.
you better believe it. You better believe it. Cha-ching. I say
Boom.
cha-ching.
I think this is some would argue with me, and they're the people that don't have my mindset. But I think this is the most exciting time to be in education. Agree? Disagree?
Well, I agree in that if you create the conditions, then there is an unlimited possibility of opportunities. And let me kind of define. Do I have a minute to kind of
You got
define
a
conditions?
you got 2 minutes. You got 120 seconds. Come on.
Let me just explain it this way. Let's call it a sense of belonging. Now, I know a lot of educators throw that out, but do they really define it? Joe, a sense of belonging, in my opinion, has five pillars or like five big rocks. One, students and employees and families have to be physically, socially, and emotionally safe. That's number
Mm.
one. That's number one.
I think the
Two,
research backs that up. I mean, the timeless research backs that up.
yeah, man. Number two, people have to be valued, regardless of their area code, no matter what part of the county or city they come from, what neighborhood they come from. They have to be valued, and we have to see the value of our people. I tell people the two most important people in the building is the custodian and the front office person. Because think about it, teachers lose their mind if those lights are not on, if the heat's not right. And when that front office person is not there, when your office administrator or secretary is not there, people act like they don't know how to function. And think about our bus drivers. We
Yes.
wouldn't even be in business if they're the first person that picks our kids up and the last one that kisses them goodbye. So value. Third one
Mm.
is empowered. We got to give families, kids, employees the right amount of voice and choice. Kids want to learn. They get excited to learn things, but they need to be motivated, inspired, as well as engaged, man. Number four, everybody has to be learning. We have to be growing. I read, I take courses, I go to professional development. But I think the most important one is if we want our people to be innovative, think outside the box, to be creative, we as leaders have to create a culture where people can make mistakes without losing their dignity, man.
Amen.
I think that's the most important one. I think sometimes people are scared to people are scared to swing for the fence. I always give a riddle. How do you hit a home run? Man, you're not going to hit a home run just making contact and trying to outrun to throw to first base. The only way to hit a home run is to give it everything you got. And you can't worry about striking out, man. But when you make contact, you're going to knock that ball over the fence.
Upper decker, baby. And
Up
I
the
do think you've got one more point, but I'm going to add to that. I think it's important for our people to understand, the difference between errors, talking baseball, an error is something that you probably should have done that would have been pretty easy for you. There is a known way of doing something. Hey, friends, quick question before we get back to it. I know that you have talented people on your leadership team, but is your team actually performing to its full potential? Most aren't, and most don't know why. The Team Intelligence Assessment is a solution to change that. Find out where your team stands at higherperformancegroup.com. Go to find your starting point to get started today, or click the QR code in the screen right here. All right, back to the show. Yep. But a failure is, well, nobody's ever really done this before. And failures are okay. It's the errors. And we can't confuse the two. It's the errors that need the one-on-one conversation. But let's not be afraid to fail at things that are going to be hard. And most people have never really even attempted that. I love let's swing for the fence.
Yeah, man, we got to swing for the fence. I mean, a true story. We used to play wiffle ball at Lock Haven, man, when I was a wrestling coach and a counselor. And I was pretty fast at 118 pounds when I was, 19 years old. And I never swung for the fence because I knew if I made contact with the ball, I was guaranteed to get on base. But there was one time when the bases were loaded, the kids were coming down from the dormitories for the afternoon session, and the losing team had to buy the winning team the refreshments in the evening, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Wink, wink. So I was the last batter up, and for the first time, I had to swing for the fence. Now, what is crazy is I swung as hard as I could the first two pitches, let the third one go by, but I made contact with that fourth pitch. It went upper level. Now, at Lock Haven University, they didn't have air conditioning in the field house in the 80s. So they kept the doors open. They had these big helicopter fans up top. The windows.
Oh my! I can just see it,
Joe. I literally knocked the ball over the first level rail,
and it propelled itself.
It propelled itself through the corridor out into the parking lot. True story. I can put it on Facebook right now, and people would tag.
That did not make Sports Center, but I think it should. I think that should.
But the lesson there was, and this was a true story, I started swinging for that second level after that. After that. And I tell that story because that story has stuck with me, man, over the last 40 years. Yeah.
So good. So good. You got a lot of things cooking. Think 3, 4, 5 years out. What are some of the exciting things for Surry County Public Schools that it's not happening, not yet, but give it a little bit of time. What are you excited about?
Well, I'm actually working on a TED Talk right now, man. So I'm excited about, trying to get on a TEDx stage.
Like the TED?
Because
there's kind of the knockoffs going on. But no, this is the real deal.
It's
legit.
The real deal, man. Yeah, I'm actually I'm almost maybe one draft away from starting to submit to some TEDx stages, man, because, I think we got to bring the sexy back to education.
Let's bring it.
I mean, the bottom line is this, man. Loving, caring, motivated, dedicated educators are actually starting to become an endangered species, man. That will soon become extinct if we don't do something to maybe reignite the sense of belonging. Because we know it's not just about money, but how do people feel when they're driving to work? You know what I'm saying? Like how do educators feel, man, when they do belong and they love where they are and they love what they're doing, and the leaders above them are allowing them to fail forward and allowing them to be innovative, man, not having to worry about whether or not they get it right the first time. I think there's a message there, man, that the world needs to hear, Joe.
Yeah. I did not. I didn't prepare you for this, but here's what breaks my heart right now. in education and in healthcare. Okay,
Yep.
the professions that help all other professions, right, heal and grow, and but those two professions, and I want to talk about education, the level of burnout happening
Yep.
across our educators right now. And there's a way to fight back. So, what are you doing within Surry County Public Schools to help prevent any of this silly, unnecessary burnout that is just taking our classrooms by storm?
Well, one thing is what I just shared. I really focus on creating a sense of belonging where one, we're building trusting relationships, where I'm modeling for leaders how to have an open door where people can talk to you about what's going on in their life. Also we talked about practice what you preach. What if my daughter needs to go to the doctor? What if I have this appointment or something? I'll go in and cover class. I
Mm,
say, okay, you can leave 2 hours early. You can come in an hour late. I'll cover your class for you. And trying to model those things where we're really working with folks again to meet them
yeah,
where they are,
right.
give them little things that they need so that they're like, wow, you know what? I value how you treat me. I value the fact that I emailed you a question and you came to my classroom to talk to me face to face about it. You know what I mean? Um, so that's one of the things that we're doing. The other thing that we're doing is we're giving people space to do some things. We actually created a wellness center in our middle school that we're going to open up this year for the staff. So we're out here in the country, and there's not a lot of. They're just breaking ground on the YMCA in
Okay,
September, but there's not a training facility around here per se. So we're bringing that into the school. So now we got a workout facility in our middle school right now. So
that's
people may want to
fantastic.
work out in the morning, work out after work, and then go home. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
fantastic. I
Um,
personally believe that anybody in a classroom should be the healthiest person in that room.
there you
Right?
go.
Anybody leading, especially in your chair. I believe that you always have to be the healthiest person in the room because it models what we need in terms of it's just energy. That's a
Mhm.
commodity today. And Herb, I can't think of anybody that has more energy than you do. And you gotta keep that fit.
Yeah, man. And look for solutions and look for ways to have fun, man. We implemented this year something called the Aim High student faculty basketball game. And really it was around helping students to motivate themselves to do their best on the test,
Okay.
because we always have kids that pass, but what is it to pass advance? What is it to pass with a perfect 600? So we charge teachers with doing skits and motivational signs. And it was one of those things where I was worried that people would view it as one more thing. But when we really started to promote it and I was going around school getting the kids pumped up, man, I'm running point guard, man. You can't check this 57-year-old guy. And I got a teacher team, then we got teacher cheerleaders. And man, we just rallied and rallied. And then the teachers came on board, man. They had made special T-shirts. They made cool signs. They had these cool like games because like every 2 minutes we would call timeout and we would do like a public
Oh
service
my god,
announcement,
like the
man.
Savannah Banana baseball team. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah. That's exactly what it
it's
turned
all
into,
about
man.
the entertainment.
Man, we took pictures and it was one of those things where after the event, the kids were like, "Are we going to do this again
Do it
next year?"
again. Let's
But you
do
know
it
what was
again.
most important? The adults asked Dr. Monroe, "We're going to do it again next year." I said, "Yeah, and it's going to be even bigger and better. I can't wait." And maybe we'll invite the community to come see it this time. So,
I usually have to get to this point where I say, okay, we're going to take what we've done and we're going to level it up. We're going to level up a little bit more energy as we go
right.
into this thing called the lightning round. Where we keep it light. We keep it light, but we just bring out you've already brought out the human. You are the most human that I've ever had on this show,
Get out of
Dr.
here,
Monroe.
Joe.
I seriously, I so appreciate the essence. I'm going to call it the essence of what you bring to this profession. So I want to dial that in to just a few real quick hit answers around what we call the lightning round. So
Okay.
first question right out of the gates, is there a quote that you live by?
Never say can't, say not yet, but soon with practice.
There it is. How
Never
about
say can't.
Worst and best advice that you've ever received in leading people. Let's go worst first. Yuck. Worst advice.
Worst advice is the kids don't have to like you, and you don't have to work so hard to get their attention every day.
Best advice.
Best advice, love them, because the way that you make them feel is what will stick with them forever.
What's your definition of love? This is a bonus round. You said love them.
The definition of love goes back again, and I hate to go back to that sense of belonging, but it's where you can create that socially and emotionally and physically safe environment where you get to know kids by their name and by their interests, and you continually check on them every time you see them. And you need to do that not only for the kids, but you need to do that for the adults.
Is there any unpopular opinions that you hold that you're just eager to defend?
Unpopular opinions that I hold. Yes. And I don't know if it's unpopular, but I truly believe that all kids can learn. No matter what, no matter the area code, no matter the parents, no matter the IQ, all kids can learn, no matter what. No excuses.
I don't argue with you at all on that one. Have you changed your mind about anything recently?
Um, yeah. I've changed my mind that everybody will do the right thing even when it's completely obvious of what the right thing is. I found that that doesn't always happen, unfortunately. And it took me maybe 58 years to really see it. And maybe sitting in this seat, I kind of was exposed to like the Matrix. I don't know if it was the red pill or the blue.
Red pill or blue pill?
But man, this superintendent thing, it's like you take this pill and you see a whole nother world that makes you go, sometimes.
How about a decision in your career you'd make it 10 times over?
Um, I would say to be a superintendent. There was a time where I was,
Nah,
I'm
you're
not
gonna,
doing that.
you
That's
said
crazy.
you were never going to be a teacher. Then you probably said, I'm never going to be anything beyond a
Yep,
teacher.
yep.
Right? Yeah.
You're exactly right. I'm not going to be a teacher, not going to be a principal. Who wants to do that? That's crazy. I just want to teach and coach wrestling. And then the next thing you're sitting in the superintendent chair. No regrets though, man. No regrets.
No, you're so well played. If you're not running your district, what are you going to be doing?
I'm gonna be with Denzel starring in a movie, man.
Your good friend Denzel Washington.
Yep, Denzel and I are gonna be I don't know, hip to hip, man, in some thriller, saving the planet or something, man. That's what I'd love to do.
I can't wait to see that. How about a word or a short phrase for Surry County's future?
What I would like to say is we're going to continue to build excellence, one student at a time. And I would like to say, let's always put our Cougars first. Cougars first.
Cougar Nation.
Yep, Cougars
Cougar
first.
Nation. All right, you're going out. It's been a long week. You're going out on a Friday. You're going to grab some grub. Are you Surrey, Smithfield? Where are you heading?
Surrey Seafood, man. You got to go to Surrey Seafood. You ever in Surrey, folks? Come to Surrey Seafood. Let's get hip to hip and eat on the water. Amazing.
You know what? This is not on the lightning round script at all, but every time I say or think about Surrey, my iPhone just kind of lights up. I don't know what's going on.
You're saying Siri, right? Siri,
Right,
not Surrey. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, man.
Dr. Monroe, this has been the highest energy exchange that I've had in a long time, and everybody listening in. I'm always looking for that gem. What is that gem? That little morsel? I think you've got 710. How many?
704.
704, 74, running on a budget that barely covers the mandate. I mean, you're just doing what you need to do, and you're scrappy. You still got that wrestler in you. I think being small was never really the problem, right? It's
Right.
not knowing your people well enough was always going to be. It's
Right.
getting to know your people, your students, your staff, your community members, your bus driver, all of them. right? So if you're leading something everyone else is saying is too small or doesn't matter, you can't really compete at that level. It's, do I know my people by name yet? That's what I pulled from you. Do I know all my people by name? Don't build a resume, build your impact. And that's what I'm
Build your
pulling
impact.
away from this today. And I'm just so very, very grateful. Thank you. Any last words of encouragement or advice to a struggling superintendent out there, or somebody stuck in the middle of maybe some board tension? What do you got for
It's always too soon to quit.
them?
Remember this, it's always too soon to quit, because all we got to do is win, 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 no matter what. And the only way you can win is to stay in the game. So just stay in the game, stay faithful,
Yeah.
stay in the game, And one thing I've learned too is I call it facts over feelings. Lead with facts, lead with data, and that'll be your pathway to success. So it's always too soon to quit. Never say can't, say not yet, but soon with practice. And remember, relationships and the teamwork will make the dream work, Joe. And let me
That's
tell you, man, thanks so
that's
much.
it.
Plum, please and pleasure to be here today, man.
Oh my goodness. Hey, if they want to learn more about your system or learn more about you, where would you direct them?
They should go to A Word from Doc. It is all one word. A Word from Doc
There it
on
is.
Instagram, A Word from Doc on TikTok, and I have a website, A Word from Doc. So check me out. You can check me out at Herb Monroe on Facebook. Check me out on LinkedIn, Herb Monroe. But yeah, let's communicate. Let's collaborate. And let's bring the sexy back to education.
There it is.
We
A
can't
word
lose
with
it.
Doc. Let's blow that up. Let's blow that up, folks. Peace. Keep your dukes up and keep fighting like this amazing human right here. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Joe. Take care.